Welcome to the Leadership Sovereignty Podcast. I'm your host, Ralph Owens, along with Terry Baylor. In today's episode, we'll touch on topics such as the power of visualizing success, the power of celebrating milestones, discovering the power of building your brand, and understanding the trust relationship with yourself. Enjoy the show. And then the next point is visualizing success. Right, Terry, I think you explained that beautifully.
I love this.
Yeah,
I love this. Right, you got to see yourself. Right, you have to take the time out. Right, take the time out. Do the exercise. Right, because here's the deal: you've done the hard work. The hard work is getting it on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is just sit back, see yourself doing it, right? Seeing what good looks like, right? Seeing what end looks like, right? I'm gonna tell you, there's that is probably one of the most powerful tools that anyone could ever, start to utilize, right? And I tell this story to my kids, and I'm like, I know you guys think I was over the top, but I loved baseball. Man, night before the game, I'm sitting in bed. I got my bat. I'm holding it. I'm seeing myself taking cuts. Right. That's how bad. And I didn't really know what I was doing then. I'm 17, 18. I didn't know, but I didn't really know. Right.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to be in the game so bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. It's so powerful, man, that a lot of people don't really understand that the subconscious drives your conscious thought, right? And the more you can embed those visualizations, because I've heard it said that the subconscious is driven by images, right? So when you are visualizing, you're programming that into your subconscious. That's what drives your conscious thoughts, which drives your action. Right? It's almost like a mind hack that you're doing on yourself.
Yes.
Right? Because the more you can visualize yourself doing something, the greater the odds are that you're going to actually get it done.
Yeah. And so one of the things I have here is I have a tip on that, right? It says that this can enhance motivation and your clarity. Right?
Yes. Yeah. I think it's an underrated feature that we all have available to us, and it's something that should be in our daily routine every day.
Yes,
right?
sir.
I have it listed in my daily routine. I don't always get to it, but I try to get to it where I spend at least 10 minutes just visualizing what does success look like for today, this year, for the next 5 years. Right? Get the picture in your mind. Right? There's a great book called The Ant and the Elephant. Right, where it talks about the size of the subconscious, as it in relation to the conscious. The conscious is like the ant. The elephant is the subconscious. That's how big the difference is.
Oh, I gotta get that book.
You know what drives, and again, you know what drives the subconscious? Visual images. That's why and I'm gonna give you an example that everybody's experience. Have you ever drove down the road and you saw a billboard of some McDonald's French fries, and then all of a sudden your mouth start watering? They use
the McDonald's fries, yes.
Right. They use the image to put it into your subconscious. Your subconscious started to drive your conscious thought, which drove your behavior in your body. Marketing has been using this for decades. Right? So No, I just had to throw that in there.
No, I love that, man. I got to get that book though. I definitely got to dig into that. All right, so moving on. Of course, we've talked about this, right? Document your process. Document your progress, rather. Journal, right? How each step aligns, with your narrative. Just keep track of where you are, right?
Yeah, your metrics.
Yep.
Yeah, your metrics. Yep. And then celebrating the milestones, right?
Got to do it.
I think, as part of the planning process, when you really want to take it a step further, You say you put as part of your goal, when I get to this point, that's going to be a milestone. When I get to this point, that'll be a milestone. And it is so important to take the time to celebrate that. You know what that does for you? That basically gives you strength and renewed energy, right? When you can
Yes.
celebrate a milestone instead of
Yes.
having to wait until the end of the year to try to
Yes.
celebrate when you're all worn
Yes.
down, right? Things
Yes.
of that nature. Yeah.
Yes. And here's the thing too, right? One of the things that Ralph, and we've talked about this, right? And matter of fact, I had an HR guy. I'm just being transparent. I don't do a good job necessarily of self promotion,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know how we came up. You work hard, they go reward you. No, you work hard, they go take the credit.
That's
They-
right.
and so there is some level of self promotion that you have to do, and
Yeah.
these milestones, documenting these milestones, help you do that.
Yeah.
Right. And one of the matter of fact, Ralph, you sent me something on this. It was so timely. What's the young lady's name? I forget her name. You had went to a conference she was at.
Oh, Carla Harris.
Carla Harris, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the techniques she gave, which was a great way to do it, to bubble up a milestone, is this is what we accomplished. Everybody knows you leading it.
That's right.
Everybody
Yep.
knows you're the product owner,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But this is what we've done. Let's celebrate the team.
Us. Yeah. That's right.
You see
Great
what I'm
technique.
saying?
Yeah.
It's a great technique, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's documented, right? You tag in the right people on that email,
Mm-hmm.
right? A VP, a senior VP, right? The manager of that area,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got to have some self promotion in there. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So Ralph, this is great, man. Now I know, what, the next segment here is to kind of, maybe, I'm sure you guys are already, let me say this. By following these steps, you can ensure that your goals are not just arbitrary targets, but are deeply connected to your personal and professional journey, making them more meaningful and achievable. And
That's
and
right.
and again, that helped me to think about connecting my goals to who I am. Because again, it's not just really I'm going to say this, right? It just doesn't become another task, something that you have to get done for someone else.
That's right.
But ultimately, it's something that you're doing for you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. 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 So,
Go ahead,
go
Ralph.
ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I'm sure everyone's kind of been thinking through this, thinking through how you create your narrative. And so the next segment here we were talking about is maybe going through a little exercise. Ralph, what do you think? Should we go through the exercise?
I think we already have, right? We've given some really good examples of what a goal that the one you did with Liz was spot on. I think anyone can take that and translate that into a goal to what they do. And we talked about sharing the goals and the narratives for accountability, right? Finding those leaders or the people who can give you feedback for your goals, right? To help, kind of give you a little bit of guidance, and then reporting back check-ins, right? Very, 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 very important so that you make sure that you're in alignment. Thank you for listening to the Leadership Sovereignty Podcast. We hope that you not only enjoyed the content, but gained something to help you on your personal leadership journey. Feel free to reach out to us on X and Instagram under the handles Leadership Sovereignty. Until next time, stay safe, peace, and blessings.